Omnia Premium Pro gives you the confidence to eliminate dead water on thousands of lakes across the U.S. Exclusively on the Omnia app, use 10 unique data layers containing critical real-time mapping information to see water temperature, water clarity, contours, lake bed hardness, and important weather data all in one place. Matched with Omnia's loyalty credit program on all your tackle and gear needs, this is the only app you need in your arsenal for success on the water.
All right, welcome back, Bass Galaxy, to Into the Great Wide Opens. We've got a lot to cover. The season's wrapped up. Dreams are in the process of being made. Other dreams crushed like a dirty old cigarette butt. How you doing, Brad?
I'm doing really good. Welcome back, Bass Galaxy. It's been a while. Brucey, how long has it been for you? A couple months?
I don't know. Packed up, moved houses. I've been hand building a garage by myself because I'm a nickel squeezer. And I said I wasn't going to podcast until my studio inside the shop was done. And I have yet to do that. So I don't know. It's been a few months. So it's good to be back on and good to see you. And I'm looking forward to our guest tonight, Laker Howell, the frog man.
He proved everyone wrong on Leech Lake.
Yeah, he sure did. And Brad, before we go any further, congratulations to you. 48th in points in Division 2. Brad has punched his ticket to the Bassmaster EQ 3 tournament shootout this fall.
Well, thanks. It was very close. Almost didn't happen, but we're there. And man, what a weird year. You know, just we had like 5 canceled days this year in that division and had a canceled day on Leech. So it seems like more driving, practice, and less tournament angling.
Yeah, well, it's the way she goes. Man, you can't help but wonder, though, how it would have shaken out differently had everyone fished the whole divisions or all full tournament fields and full tournament days.
Yeah, I mean, totally different, probably. I mean, I would like to think I would have did better, but maybe did worse. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? I'm glad we got to go on Leech on the second day. And I'm glad it was one on a frog. Bass fishing needed that.
Absolutely. It's too bad to have a camera guy with them.
Yeah, I should have dropped my camera guy off with them.
Yeah,
I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, you should have just drove him up there. Yeah,
I watched the Bass live the other day from there, and the camera was hardly pulled out for me because I was just going to a spot, taking 3 casts, picking up the trolling motor, getting the guy just drenched and beat the hell out of him, and then go to the next spot. And there are a couple, I don't even know if he pulled it out. It was a workout.
At least you didn't wreck the camera, right?
No, I didn't wreck the camera.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I don't know if Bass could afford another camera.
Well, this looks like pretty expensive cameras, but
yeah,
I'm sure they'd figure it
out.
I'm sure that's what everyone's thinking, because I did read the YouTube comments, and there's the same 6 Cheeto fingered mom's basement guys that write these damn cheater boxes, and I'm just like, shut up. Like, this kid caught every single fish on a frog. Like, what more do you want other than to see it?
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty badass watching it, but it's kind of hard with 2-day shootout. And it's crazy, like that second day we fished was probably worse than the first day they canceled. I mean, it's pretty sporty out there that day.
It was big, yeah. I fancy myself a big water angler, and there was a lot of stuff I couldn't fish.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was a lot of stuff wrecked. Not by me, but some young kid driving too fast.
That's the way a derby should be.
Absolutely.
If you practice in the wide open abyss, then you're putting yourself in jeopardy of it being blown out, and vice versa. That's how that's only 5.5 hours south of here, and that's exactly how tournaments are around here. There's mixed bags. You can win on one or the other. and weather largely dictates what's going to happen. So even though I got my absolute teeth kicked in on day 2 and fell to 29th from 3rd, I still am happy that that this happened.
Well, and it does open it up for, like it does kind of, the cheater box, everyone's against it. Well, when you fish in the wind, kind of opens it up for people to win without the cheater box. I mean, I don't, it adds some diversity to the fish catching, because you're not sitting out in the middle doing that.
Yeah. It was the best lake for it to end on, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a great tournament. I think it was well received again in Walker. I mean, the crowds up there are really good. I think they're all there watching Fothergill because after he wins, and they all leave. But badass.
Yeah. There were a lot of Minkies in the crowd.
Oh yeah, there's some Minkies. They cheered loud when you came up. I heard that.
Yeah, and then Kyle came and bumped me, and it got real loud in there. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Brad, we got a shout out. Man, our whole original travel team, me, you, Raz, and Danny, used to stay together, for a couple of years, and all the boys made it. I didn't. I fished 2 tournaments,
You
finished
were close.
113th.
I think you could have made it in 3.
Could have made it in 3, yeah.
Yeah, you were close. Yeah, it was Danny did really well. I mean, he was up against it and had a great tournament, made it. Raz made it in Division 1, and yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the EQs go. A lot of familiar faces, and I mean, it's going to be some stout competition.
Yeah, I agree. There's not there's no filler in there. All killer.
Yeah, all killer. It'll be fun to watch because there's not much going on that time of year for fishing wise. So you pretty much, if you're into fishing, you'll have to watch the EQs.
Yeah, she's all shutting her down tomorrow on the elites. Ole Miss is kicking off. I talked to Gussie. He says the conditions are pretty diverse there. Pool 9, I guess, is high and muddy, and the water is high everywhere, and it's going to be a good watch. I'll be glued to my screen for the next few days.
It will be interesting because it's going to change. Like I don't live that far from there, and I think they got 5 or 6 inches of rain in the last 3 days, and the river was pretty high before they even started. Like it's been high all year, so a lot of muddy water. There'll be comers and goers, and the guy that can keep it glued. And then I mean, you got the ALI chase that.
Well, that's what we're watching for, bud.
Yeah.
I know. I ain't watching to see 13 pounds caught on a frog. I don't care about that. I want to see the AOI race.
Well, that'll be a good one. I don't think Chris is going to just give up real easy, but I don't think Trey doesn't seem to stumble very much. So
no, you never know. Those guys could do something wild, and Shakurik could come from the back. I ran into him at the little sneaky boat ramp on Leech on the second morning, and he just weighed in 3 fish the day before. He had 3 wheels left on his boat. He had just given up 50 points in the AOI race and missed the cut at St. Clair, the lake he was probably looking most forward to all year. And he just looked at me. He's like, it hasn't been my week.
So he's going to be mad. He's going to be mad at him. He might make a big comeback.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. We'll have to find out. But yeah, I mean, everything's good. We got lots to talk about. Laker Howell's jumping on. Everyone's going to want to hear from the Frog Man. So we'll
get to it.
Yeah, we'll take 5 and bring him back in here.
This is the mountain, and this is mountain whiskey. Unspoiled, untamed, forever wild. There's no safety net, no way down. Up here, it's just man and the mountain and his tin cup. Tin Cup Whiskey. Mountain whiskey.
We're down a frogman.
Where'd the frogman go?
I don't know. There he is.
Oh,
What's
there he
up?
is. What's up, buddy?
I was getting an energy drink. Sorry about that.
There you
Perfect.
go. Man, you got a
Yeah.
lot of empty slat wall back there. You
I
are
know,
the
dude.
frogman.
I know. Before the Frogman won the tournament, he was hurting on funds, so that's going to get full here soon.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good ride for you to. You're right on Gunnersville, right?
Yeah, right on Gunnersville. So yeah, I'm 2 minutes from one of the main ramps here where I live now, and I'm 15 minutes from the shop where I keep my boat and everything. So boy, it's definitely the place to be, especially for frogging.
Heck yeah, that'll do. And I would have to guess around 19 hours from Leech Lake.
Yeah, it was 19. I didn't stop, by the way. After that win, I was like, shoot, what's the point in getting a hotel room? I'm jacked up. I'll just drink some caffeine. That was a bad idea. By the time I hit Kentucky, dude, I was, I don't know if you ever heard of pre-workout before, but I've got some pretty good stuff, right? I got the bucked up woke AF, I think it's called, and it's the premium stuff. If it's in a platinum can, right? So it's got almost 400 milligrams of caffeine in a scoop that big, right? So I was just throwing that stuff back, rolling. I took 2 scoops of it and just kept going. I got back at 6 in the morning, went to bed until 11. So, I'm still catching up on that. So
That sounds like the kind of pre-workout you get from a street corner in Birmingham.
yeah.
If it wasn't fruit punch, you wouldn't know.
It's some good stuff, man.
Yeah, that's a good hump. And man, you got to be glad you made the ride that late, because like a lot of guys dropped off because it's a huge haul. You're looking at a couple grand in expenses to skate up there. So
Oh yeah, I mean that whole deal was just. I mean, any of those northern tournaments, New York, Minnesota, Wisconsin, any of those for us southern guys, I mean, is expensive just as it is for y'all to come down here. So, any of them trips like that is, in expenses themselves. I mean, you're looking at $2,500 plus, in food, lodging, and gas and everything. So, yeah, I just kept rolling. I got back, and like I said, I was kissing my wife goodbye to work as I was going to bed. So it was, I'm sure she loved that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean that whole week up there, man, I just it was a good time. It really was. I got to eat at Jimmy's, like I said on stage. I don't know if y'all have eaten at Jimmy's much. That place is ridiculous.
A lot.
A lot.
Brad is a local there, so he'd know Jimmy by name.
Yeah.
I'm not a local there, but I used to guide ice fishing up there, and every morning I'd go in and eat breakfast at Jimmy's. It's pretty badass.
Dude, I swear, me and Paul Marks were talking about that. I saw him in Jimmy's every morning in practice too. That place is by far one of the best breakfast places in the country. And I'm not just saying that, because obviously they're never going to give anybody a freaking deal or nothing, but that place is freaking good.
What
Sure.
what was your go-to?
Oh, dude. So I got that secret menu. All right. So look, I went in there and, I'm looking at the menu and they didn't have kind of really what I wanted because I like to, when I eat breakfast, that's like my meal for the day until I come in. Right.
Yeah.
So I just load everything in. I'm a big guy. I got to have around my maintenance calories, like to just stay the size I am, is like 4,000 calories a day. So I eat as much as I can. So that morning I get in there and I'm like, shoot, there's a steak and eggs, but that's not a steak omelet. I could get an omelet with a steak and that'd be good too. So I just said to combine them. They put steak in an omelet with cheese, and then it came with hash browns. And then I figured out, oh shoot, I can change out my toast for a pancake the size of a plate. So then I just kill it all. That with the coffee, shoot, $20 every morning. That's what I'm talking about right there.
That's dialed up.
That is
Man, I
dialed.
actually heard you were going. I stayed with Kyle Minke there,
Yeah.
and he had talked to your travel partner Benke, who was freaking out. He's like, I'm 59th in points. Like, I gotta catch some fish. He's like, Lakers on him. He's sleeping in, eating breakfast every damn morning. We were dying laughing. But yeah, I guess it was legit. You were getting down on some Jimmys.
I was, dude. And what was funny too was I'm sitting in there, Tuesday morning, and the first day I went to the first day of practice. I got up a little earlier. I was like, I'm gonna get out there a little earlier. So I get out there, and all my buddies I stay with make fun of me because like I don't know what it is. I don't know. My style of practice is not what normal fishermen and anglers think. Like everybody's out there like daylight to dark busting their butts. And it drives my buddies nuts because I don't do that. I can't. I spent a whole season trying because my dad was always riding my butt about it. Cause like, he's like, man, you gotta want it. You gotta get out there. You gotta get on the water, stay till dark. You gotta find all you can. Well, when I would do that, it would mess me up. I sucked. I fished a whole season, fished 9 events across the country when I was like 18. It was like my first major year of trying anything. And dude, I made 2 bottom level checks. The other ones were just bombs. Like you would have thought, oh boy, this poor kid. So the next year after that, I went back to just sleeping in and doing whatever I wanted. And I mean, it was like less practice kind of gives me ideas. So that's what I was shooting for at that one too. So, that practice, I went to where, I spent my whole tournament first morning, and in 5 minutes, I had a 3.5 pounder just demolish my frog. And I was like, I think they're still here, so I'm just going to leave. So I left and I went and looked at all the other ice and stuff that I could find. And, I found a couple other backup places and all that. And day 2, I was like, well, shoot, I'm not going back in there again. So might as well just go eat breakfast the rest of the time I'm here.
I kind of feel you because I'm a lot like you. They used to call me lunch boy up here in Minnesota because I wouldn't get out there until like lunchtime.
Mhm.
But I mean, as long as you're catching them, it doesn't matter,
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, Greg Hackney said it pretty good one time. And I'm using this because it justifies what I did. It makes me feel a little better about it because like my dad always gives me a hard time. But he said he gets out there about 9:30 every day because anybody can catch him first thing in the morning. You got to figure out how to catch him the rest of the day,
Yeah.
Now,
I feel guilty though.
Brad.
I feel guilty sometimes though about it. Like you got the Catholic guilt going, and it's like, dude, I gotta get out there. I like to go out about 8 and stay until dark because everyone seems to leave at about 5 or 6.
yeah.
And you're not sitting in line launching your boat in the morning. Get some rest. It's all good.
Yeah.
When we first stayed together, I stayed with Brad at Cherokee in 2022. It was the first open I ever went to. So I was up an hour before sunrise and never got off till just before dark. And I'd always see Brad's truck at the ramp at dark. I was like, shit, I could have fished another 10 minutes. Like, how do I compete with this guy? He's 10 years older than me. He's just out grinding me. Well, I find out like a few tournaments later that he hasn't been leaving the house till 9 or 10 and then getting back at dark.
Well, when Austin travels with us, it's always Austin likes to get breakfast in the morning. So it's a late rise.
Man, it sounds like you got her figured out.
Austin's my kind of guy, man. Go get breakfast and get out there. I mean, yeah, that's the thing is like, now here's the other thing. Anybody watching, hearing this, thinking, "Oh boy, this kid, he got out there and had one bite and said he was going to win the tournament." I had no clue I was going to do anything better than just making a check. That was the whole part of going up there. I went up there. This is a funny story. My dad actually told me before this one. This is the first time my dad's ever tried to talk me out of going to a tournament because it's so far up there, and I was so broke, dude. Like it was bad. Like my GoPro. This is what's sad is the one thing I didn't have a live camera, right? So. Didn't get that, but that's okay. I mean, I was in 21st, whatever. It's a 2-day event. I didn't have a GoPro because my GoPro broke 3 tournaments ago. I've been borrowing cameras from buddies, and one of my buddies weren't there this time except for Banky that I was rooming with, and he had his one GoPro he was running. So I was trying to make my thing work. I'm back there screwing with it at like 10 o'clock the first day. It still wouldn't cut on. So yeah, I didn't get anything on footage, and it sucks because I can't even go back and watch the blow-ups because man, the footage would have been sick. I was like a kid out there just freaking out. I'm thinking, this is the most fun frog day of my life. What's going on?
Well, I don't think there was one level-headed person that thought largemouth were going to win that tournament. Everyone knew that there was a chance that like Fothergill was down in 30th. That was kind of the cutoff line. Anyone in the top 30 could win, but no one really thought that it could be largemouth. Like that was nuts. And I said it earlier before you jumped on, but that might have saved bass fishing, bud.
Might have saved it.
Coulda.
It's like if you had told me the night before that tournament that I was going to go catch 20 pounds of largemouth and none of the guys ahead of me were going to catch 18 plus pounds on them smallmouth, I would have said, you're smoking dope. You better go put a bet in right now because you're thinking something crazy. Because I wouldn't have even, like, literally, I told myself, like, midway through the day, like 9:30, I had my weight by 9:30 on that frog. So, I mean, I'm just, fun fishing around trying to find one more big one. And I'm like, shoot, I mean, I got like 19 and a half. I might make a top 10. If I finish 10th, I'll be happy. I had no clue that the smallmouth fishing was that hard that day. So even I didn't think it was possible. I was like, I'm just shooting for a top 10 here. I'll go home with a good check and, I won't be as broke as I was when I come up here, So,
Yeah, that's got to be the biggest come behind win in an open, right? Because you need to have it shortened to have the chance for the come behind, and that
yeah.
really hasn't happened that often.
Yeah.
Where someone,
One of the other one guy I was talking to, somebody commented that on one of the shows I was on the other day, and I haven't even given it any thought. I didn't look into it, and then my dad looked into it afterwards, and I think that the one before that was Aaron Martin's when he came back from 19th or something and won one. But that was a full 3-day event, so this one was a little bit different. So obviously it wouldn't be the same caliber, I wouldn't think. But I mean, I guess in the long run, you're right. It would be the biggest one so far, as far as like furthest back in placement. But it was a 2-day, so it was short, so it was kind of a weird deal to begin with. But
yeah, no,
yeah,
that's nuts. I knew there were some guys with 20 pounds of buckets the first day,
yeah,
and
Oh,
everyone was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, yeah, they had a 5.5, and
yeah,
it's going to be like a fizzler. But man, I told Brad earlier, I was like, I would have come drop my live camera off if I knew you were busting them in rice on a frog. Like, here you go, man. You got 9 other guys staring at a screen doing the same damn thing I am. You don't need to see this.
yeah, yeah. Dude, I wish y'all could have seen that, man. I figured out that morning that they were like, as soon as I got in there, I started in a different zone than I was because the rice made more of a hard edge, and it was so cloudy that morning with the wind and everything. I'm like, they're not going to be back in this stuff. They're going to be at the edge, probably trying to feed. So I get in there and I catch a couple high twos, right off the bat. He just clobbered it. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a good day. And then turn the corner, I catch a 3 1/4, and I'm like, all right, cool, that's a good one. Maybe I'll end up, catch a couple more big ones, and then fire over to the edge of this rice. This is the one that came off. This one really, it kind of scared me. I thought I was gonna be out of it when I did this. I thought I was gonna miss the top 10 because of this fish. I was like, man, that sucks. So fire over the rice and I land it right in the edge of it, and I'm walking it out into open water, nothing around it, and I see this wave kind of part the rice, and I'm like, oh boy, that's a big one. Here it comes. And it gets underneath it and the water rises and then the frog just vanishes. And I was like, oh, he's got it. I hit him. As soon as I did, it come up going nuts. And I see the frog in the corner of his mouth. I'm like, oh yeah, I got him. And then he jumps again and the hook just rips out of his mouth. And I was like, that was a freaking big. And it was a 4+. I don't know exactly how big it was, but end of the cast when I hooked him, I guess it just didn't get him good. So I stand right back up, get the water out of the frog, and I'm two casts, and then I make a third one to this little dip. There's 3 little pads, like right where the rice kind of made a little dip in the main line. As soon as it hit, dude, it looked like a freaking Labrador jumped on top of it. It's like, and I hit it, and I was like, please stay on. That's a big one. It went up in the rice, and it came out of the rice, and then it got buried up. So I've got this big jumbled up mess coming to the boat, and I'm just praying because I can see the frog through the rice. I'm like, that fish is not hooked good. So all I saw was the bottom jaw, and I laid down and I jammed my whole hand in its mouth. And when I ripped it, I didn't know how big it was until I finally grabbed it. When I grabbed it, it was like, that's a big one. That's the biggest one I've caught here ever. It was a 5.25 on my scale. I didn't weigh it on stage because they said it was like a 6 something was big fish that day. So I was like, I'd be dumb. But yeah, it was that one. Y'all would have heard me from a mile away when I caught that one. The whole pocket heard me catch that
one. Yeah, and it was probably like 19 inches long. That's just how they look up here. Yeah. It just round.
It was like a butter bean, dude. It was just built like a freaking bean. It was so thick.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was so thick. And then I kept going after that. And everyone after that, it was crazy. It's like the size got bigger the second day in there because like day one, I had to weed through a bunch of them. It took till almost 11 on day one to get what I had. And then I'm glad, I'm glad for what I caught by 11 on day one because I didn't catch a fish over 3 1/4 the rest of the day when that sun came out each time. Like that sun would pop out and it would just go dead. Those largemouth would completely shut off. It was like totally cloud cover base. So I mean, if the clouds hadn't have been there, I wouldn't have really caught as much because like the conditions just lined up for them big ones to push out of the rice and get on the edge of stuff. I mean, like it was, I had a couple blow ups that were in stuff where I got like a three. I think the biggest one I caught back in something was like 3.5. I caught like a 348 back in something, but otherwise everything I caught was like right on the edge, the hard lines and stuff, where it was like a definite little dip, something different those fish could like kind of sit into ambush. So man, it was wild. I still can't believe I caught that many. After 9:30, I was like, well, shoot, I got to get back. I'm just gonna beat this place down and see how many I can catch. So every time I'd hook one, I'd be like, no, this is a big one.
Did you have to deal with any boats?
I had 3 other guys up there with me, I think. Yeah, 3 other guys. One dude, I hope he's not watching. I don't know what his name was. I've never met him before.
Let him have it.
But he come by me, and on day one, I saw him on day one. On day one, he come by me. He went right through my best zone, right? He beat me to it. He started on the other side and came around to me. And I'm still picking stuff apart. And he comes by, and he was just disgusted, you could tell. And he goes, man, I don't know how to get these fish hooked, dude. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, and I had like 17 at that point, I think. He says, dude, I've missed or lost 20 fish this morning, big ones. I've got 1 3-pounder. And in my mind, I'm like, thank God he went to that area and didn't beat it down.
Fluffed him up for you.
I went right behind him, dude. And as soon as I got in behind him, I went probably 200 yards and I caught a 4, and I went 2 casts later, caught a second 4 right where he had just come through. And I know those fish had to have bit his frog. He just missed him, I guess. So it was meant to be the way that all worked out. It was incredible.
Wow. Yeah. Well, a lot of times those guys, like obviously this wasn't the case in your hole, but a lot of times up here, like we have rice and reeds, like it looks the same where I live 5 hours north of there.
Yeah.
And like kind of the greener guys will be like, I missed 20 today. And like, they're just nipping at it. And I'm like, those are pike, man. Like bass find it. Did you have to deal with a bunch of pike?
Dude, me and them pike were about to fight. Okay. Let me just tell you.
They keep it's a good place to be in the lure industry.
Yeah. Me and them pike. Well, see, that was the thing was like, I'm glad from last year because I learned what the pike looked like before they got it last year. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, last year, I messed up some really expensive frogs. So I had to go. That was the whole reason I had to go on eBay or wherever else I found these things. Because last year I made a good check. I finished 22nd, and I was like, and I caught so many frogfish, I couldn't believe it. So I went online and I found any of them frogs I could find, So it cost me an arm and a leg because you can't find them no more. So then this year I'm like babying these things, dude. So I'm like real careful. And every time I had 2 pike actually get the thing in their mouth. And when they did, it was down their throat. So the one trick I did learn from a guy up north one time, he taught me, he said, if you're ever throwing a bait that you really like a frog or something, let the pike swallow it because their teeth are not in their throat. They're just at the edge. You might cut your line, but if you're lucky, they won't mess your frog up. Well, I did that and it actually worked. I only had to glue my frog like 2 times because of a couple gashes where the teeth had nicked it a little bit. But otherwise,
that's a good trick.
I only caught 2 pike the whole time I was there. So I got real lucky. I didn't lose a single frog either. They didn't cut my line one time.
Wow.
So,
yeah, it looked like an old ass like scum frog. Like the OG.
The real OG, man. I mean, it's like the real OG.
Were you like gluing it back together and heating it up and sticking it back together just to get a couple more casts out of them, or did you have a good supply?
Oh shoot, no! Look, here's my. Oh shoot, there's a bee on that, dude. That about got me. That was my glue. My glue's gone now. It's out of my boat. It's over there. But anyway, there's a bee sitting on my glue. But the glue thing, I had a full thing of the glue and the Gorilla Glue, and that bonds to skin instantly. So really, any frog that you do it on, it doesn't matter the brand. They're all about like that skin material kind of. So if you glue it, it bonds to that instantly. If you glue anything like metal or like the weight or whatever else, it takes a little while. But that glue was a saving grace because it would start filling up with water and then it won't walk right. So you got to squirt a little bit on there.
Yeah.
Is that like a frog you use down home all the time, or how do you get on that frog?
Yeah. So I guess, living on Gunnersville, I've become kind of a frog nerd because how good this place has been over the years with a frog. I mean, the mat bites here are just insane. So, I really felt that's why I was so comfortable doing that, was because I've spent so many days out here and I know kind of the I call it the clock of when the fish are going to fire on the topwater deal when you're fishing a tournament. So it kind of keeps you more level headed, because if you're not used to throwing a frog, that's a real specialty type bait. It takes a lot of confidence in it. You got to have like caught a lot on it. Just like certain scoping techniques that I'm not as good with. I'll get out there and I'll be like, this thing's stupid. Like the dice, I still don't know why they bite that stupid dice. That makes no sense to me. It's like a little cube with fuzz on it. But
Oh, it looked like a damn game of Yahtzee out there this past weekend. Every boat had them in it.
yeah, and I mean, I saw it at iCash, a bunch and they work. I'm not saying they don't work. Obviously, everybody's catching them on it. I just don't understand it. I get out there and iCash, and it looks like it's like the dice, like everybody's rolling dice in there, showing their fuzzy dice and stuff off everything, and I don't get it. But it's the same thing with the frog. If you don't understand it, then you don't have the confidence to throw it. Just so I spent so many summers, like we moved here when I was 14, and then from then, like my dad had that lake boat that I got to fish in when I was 15 years old. I had like a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit that I definitely broke all the time. So I'd get out there and I'd go and I'd be within sight of our creek or whatever, and I'd find some grass mats, and I had a kayak too. So Spring Creek, where I live, is one of the most thick grass areas. So I'd go out there after school every day on a kayak, and I'd just play with frogs, and I'd see, which one would get the biggest blow up or which one I catch the most on. And then I kind of honed in on that color. And then you kind of start playing with, hookup ratios, because I mean, a lot of people lose a lot of fish on a frog. That's the hardest part about it is, you can get a bite. Anybody can make a fish bite the frog, right? But then landing it, that's a different story. You hook one on it, and then you always hear about everybody. Like if it's ever a frog event, you come into the weigh-in and everybody's like, man, I lost a 6-pounder on a frog today, and that's what I really got so obsessed with, I guess you call it, because when I turned 16, I could actually drive and go put in places, right? So I spent that whole summer from like the beginning of June all the way until the end of October. And the next year as well, doing the exact same thing. I didn't put it down, dude. I played with every frog there was in the book. And I would go into each one of the creeks, and I'd find grass mats, I'd find docks, I'd find any overhanging trees. It didn't matter if there was shade, if there was something for those fish to get on with a frog. I'd go and I'd play with them, and I'd learn the best colors and the best hooks for everything. So I really got like really obsessed with it. It's just so much fun, because when they blow it up, like I mean, every other bait is fun, when you hook one on it, but that is just so different because you get to watch the whole thing happen, and then you got to have the patience to wait so you don't miss them. And then you got to also know what you're doing on the hookup ratio thing to actually land the fish. So it's kind of like all these things put into one big pot that just makes it such a fun way to catch them. So for me, I've always done, like we go to a private lake. That's like the number one thing I've got tied on, because I love it so much. I just want to see how big of a fish I can make bite it. I'm still like a kid when they do. It don't matter if it's 10 inches or 10 pounds. I freak out when one blows it up still. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome to see it come full circle, because I'm sure there's been times where you're like, shit, I wish I wouldn't have spent my whole life learning a frog. I should have been staring at my side imaging on
Yeah.
ledges or learning this or learning that, or picked up the scope earlier. Because you probably thought like, man, I'm never going to win a tournament on this thing again.
Yeah, literally. Like, I mean, Gunnersville, especially, the summertime, I had to learn this the hard way. I could keep up with, placing in a tournament on Guntersville with it. But the offshore game, you just can't beat that with grass fish, right? So that's something I had to learn the hard way. And then by the time I turned 18, I got my guide license, and I was like, all right, I can't guide frogfish. These people, I can't show everybody how to go out there in an 8-hour day and actually still catch fish, because if they miss everything, I'm not going to get paid. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
you
had
don't
to
have a
go.
bunch of pike like we do to go let them warm up on and have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, we ain't got them crazy fish that just like run at whatever they see. You know what I mean?
Those are guide insurance, those things.
We could bring some down there, maybe. They'd probably like Guntersville.
Please don't.
The waterfront tackle shop would love it if we brought them down there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't. You go further south to like Eufaula, they call them dogfish down there. We've got pike in Eufaula, but this zone we don't. So I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah. My co-angler caught a pike on like a legit pike on Eufaula on day 2 of the first open we did there a couple of years ago. He's like, it's a big one. His knees are all bent. He's running around. He's like, stop, put your spotlight on there. I was like, man, it's a pike. He's like, it's not a pike. I was like, dude, I know what a pike looks like. You somehow caught a pike in Alabama. He was pissed.
Yeah, we do have them in certain places here, but yeah, they're not as loved down here as they are up north for other like certain.
I don't think we love them though.
Y'all probably don't, but there are a lot of people I see at docks. They're like, I'm working for pike, man. They're all fired up trying to catch a pike. So, there's a different group of people up there that like to catch the pike. But
oh yeah, dude, Wisconsin, they're like pike are on the damn state flag. I think they love those.
One day up on a leash, Kenta kind of got in this. He was throwing this mega bass swim bait on these rock piles, and he caught 2 great big smallmouths. And he called me. He's all jacked up. He called me about 2 hours later, and he's like, "Muskie." He like caught 3 muskies, and I'm like, "How big were they?" And he was like, "As long as him." I'm like, he's like, "Dude, those things like." He's like, "I tried grabbing one," and I'm like, "You don't touch those things. You're gonna be bleeding everywhere."
He's gonna get killed by a muskie.
Oh yeah.
Kyle told me he skipped under a dock there, and like he had cut the tip of his hook off. He still had like a little bit of a bend. And he's like, yeah, something big ate it. I knew it wasn't a bass. I thought it was a dogfish or something. And he goes, I just jacked it anyway, even though I didn't have a hook point. And he's like, a 4-foot muskie just came lurching out of the water.
Golly, that's something I've never caught as a big muskie. I've caught real little ones, but I've never even hooked a big one. I don't know what I'd do with it.
Man, one of those eats your frog, you'll break your back. We catch them flipping trees on braid here, and it sucks because your drag's locked.
Way.
Yeah.
Oh,
sucks. Sucks.
I'd be like excited to know that I caught one, but I'd be really mad because my frog would probably be screwed.
Your frog would be toast, and your braid would have the biggest line dig you've ever seen in your life, like tying it onto a freight train. Season ender.
Well, what makes it worse is you hook a nice beauty, like a 4-pounder, and then like a 50-inch muskie, like gets it and just chews it to pieces.
That's the St. Clair special.
Yeah, like they'll kill them. Like you'll be reel them in, and like I'm in Minnetonka where I live. Like they get so smart. You catch a bass, and say you're catching a few, they'll come right underneath your boat. When you throw it back, they sit under there and grab them like a shark would.
No way.
Oh yeah, they're crazy critters,
dude. That's wild. I didn't know they were that smart.
Yeah, I don't know. They're tricky. When hydro waves first came out, everyone put a hydro wave on their boat up here.
Yeah.
Kevin Van Dam's got one. We're going to dial it in. Yeah. And so everyone had one. My tournament partner turns his on, and like 5 or 6 times muskie just swim up and stare at the trolling motor. Like they're super curious. But that was all it was good for. I'm sure it has some applications. I don't know.
But they're like, I've had a couple times they'll actually hit your trolling motor, like your prop. Like they'll come up and smoke that thing.
Yeah, we didn't have any run-ins with those.
I know Livingston Lures, we've got that company's got a huge lineup of muskie stuff. They're sold all over the north. I mean, the muskie lineup of stuff is just sounding like crazy. And now that y'all mention it with the hydrowave thing, them hitting it, that's why I think they like them Livingston so much, because it's pretty much a little hydrowave inside them thing Livingston's, man. And after this win, they're you might start looking for this too up north. We're slowly working on a little modification to the Livingston Frog that we're going to come out with here soon. So y'all be watching, but it'll have some really cool stuff to it. So yeah, that one I'm ready to beat them down with it.
Do you have any yet, or is it in production?
It's a secret that's not going to be a secret very long, let's say. The secret is not going to be a secret very long. We're I'll be playing with it a lot here soon. So yeah, y'all be watching, because when they come out, it's going to be, if you don't have one, I promise I'll be throwing it a bunch.
That's wicked. No, I remember when Randy won the classic on the Livingston on the bridge pile. I was actually on my way to Gunnersville like a week later, my first time ever going down south. And I was like, this is going to be easy. Like, we'll just go to Bridges and throw these crankbaits, some A-rigs around.
Yeah.
I think it was in front of Big Spring, right?
Yeah.
We drove over it to go to the hotel, and there was like 100 boats there the week after, all lined up. It was nuts.
Yeah, that whole bridge got ruined, dude.
And then every bridge looked like that. Like it was in, March or whatever. And you couldn't even get near one.
Yeah, that whole bridge was ruined, dude. I remember that. Dad was getting texts from people like for the next 2 weeks, like, dude, you ruined my best spot.
Worth
it. Yeah, plenty worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Do what?
Oh, we just said it was worth it.
Oh, yeah, definitely worth it. 100%.
Man, speaking of Randy, going to be fun to watch him on the Mississippi tomorrow.
Dude, I know. I'm going to be glued to my phone. I can't even. Oh, my goodness. He's fired up, man. Dude. He's fired up. I really hope he can. He's last year at that Open.
I was with him. I was with them on the other side of the lock, and we got locked out.
Gosh, dude, that sucks.
Yeah.
Gosh, that sucks. Because
I had high 14. He had a 17 bag. Like, he was fixing to one more day of that, and he would have been taking home a dub or damn close to it.
I know he was really upset about that, because I mean, obviously you have that level of bag, you can't get back.
I know that feeling.
Brad was at 7 lockout. He was in the top 10 too.
Yeah.
Gosh. Dude, that sucks. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably just lean over the boat and puke, honestly. That's terrible.
Yeah, I'd been sitting there for an hour when Randy pulled up. I was like, oh, this is going to be bad.
Gosh, man.
And they had opened, there was a double barge, and they had opened one. Like, it was open when he got there, so he thought he was good. So even more of a gut punch.
Oh.
So he tries going in, and like the radio's going off, the lockmaster's barking at him, and he's like, what do you mean? Like, it's open. He's like, no, beat it. I was like, oh man, there are 5 of us sitting there. And yeah.
Golly.
I could have puked for him.
I don't know, maybe y'all understand a little bit better. I don't understand. Like, if there's a barge in there, is there not room? Because those locks are huge. Why don't they allow the barge plus, a couple extra little boats to go through? Is that like
probably just a lot that can go wrong? Like, if that thing shifts one way, you're just going to get pop canned.
Like, I was on the north side, so I got locked out on 7. And I was there for 3.5 hours, like, trying to get through, because I had the first day, I think I had just shy of 18, and the second day I had like same bag, right? Like,
dang, dude.
And I only fished for a couple hours a day. Like, that's how good they're biting. Laid off them. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna win this thing for sure. Get back, and it's like sat there for 3.5 hours. I'm like, Jesus, it was horrible.
Oh, dude. That's terrible. That really is. I don't know what I would do with myself.
I don't understand. I mean, I think lacrosse is the best tournament waters in the country. Like, it is so diverse and so much to do, but I don't understand why they can't be like, at 1:30, you can get through this lock, at least have one set time where you could get through, because I mean, it's such a gamble. Like, even this tournament happening now, like, no one's going to be able to gamble. If you're like close to the classic cut line or you're close to ALY, you're going to have to play it safe. There ain't no gambling.
See, like back in the day when Trip Weldon was the director for Bass, he would work with the locks around there and have a set time, right? They would have it, dead set to where this hour you got to be there to be through, right? When you're good. But since then they haven't done that. But then at the Tom Bigby River this year, we had that tournament right there and for the Open, and I think that was Division 1, maybe. I think that was 1, and that one, there was, they had freaking 7 or 8 locks you'd go through. I don't know why we had so much water to fish, but because you couldn't have got to it and back if you'd gone through them. But the first 2 locks, going, if you lock one time to go either up or down, they had those designated with the city. So like at a certain hour, at 2 o'clock and then at 3 o'clock, you could get through to get back, right? So like the late flight guys got to fish an extra hour down there and they could be there right on time to get through. So, I mean, that's a really good deal. I wish, like you said, they would do that again for lacrosse because they definitely can. I don't know why the city or whoever it is hasn't gone back to doing that again,
Yeah. It's cool to watch though. It sucks when you're in it, but it adds to the dynamic. Like, and
then like add some drama.
And like people say all the time, like, why would you even think about locking? Like the elites always get it done in pool 8, and it's like, man, that's 100 boats, not 230. Like that really changes the dynamic too. But no one's really thinking about. So,
and they're probably they're a little smarter at practicing too. They probably don't catch everyone that bites.
Well, how do you know, Brad? You need to catch them.
Everyone.
The opens have no shortage of hook setters in practice. You see some pictures of some 20-pound bags caught every day in practice. You're like, why?
Yeah, I could give you a nice list of guys at Leech Lake that you should go shake their hand because they definitely beat on the smallmouth that aided in the W. Man. Our Australian buddy Tommy Wood hooked one at the end of day 3 in like a flotilla of boats. And it's like, dude, like we haven't hooked a bass since the first morning. Like the hooks are cut off. You're just looking. So everyone saw it. So everyone was chirping him. Like he's like, mate, like I just wanted to catch a bass. Like I didn't know. I tried to pull it back. But he did awesome. Like
he did good.
Tommy Wood, this is his first year hitting her hard. Qualified in both divisions. He was on the takeoff day 2. I got a big deep V, so like no one's passing me when it's 4-foot waves or 3-foot waves. We're taking her easy. Tommy comes screaming past me in 3.5 footers. Like rip, I was like, dude, what kind of boat is that? Like, I've never even thought of one that can do that. Run into him,
ripping it.
Yeah, run into him at the end of the day. His wrap is blown off his boat, and his trolling motor is strapped to his front deck. Toast. Like, all right, it's just a regular boat.
he was just beating it to death.
Got to him though. Got her done.
Lee, that's really cool. It's cool to see Australian guys, really anybody from a different country coming over here and doing good in tournament fishing. Like it's sick. I forget what the dude's name is. So it's one of the dudes from Japan on the Elite Series. Is it Koya Fujita?
Yeah,
he was at Leech.
Yeah. So Koya, I've heard is like one of the most impressive like scopers there is. Like he's crazy. They were talking about, my dad was telling me a story about him at St. Clair. He said one of the guys come in and was telling a story about him. He said he stopped. The dude that was telling the story was already fishing. He said Koya got there and he's throwing such heavy line or whatever. They always have different techniques. It's really cool to see. He said Koya sat down. He said, I feel like I suck, dude, because I watched this guy in minutes catch 17 plus pounds right there beside me. Like he buzzed a circle around me and had to limit the boat before I caught one. So it's really cool to see, other countries coming and jumping in this crazy sport and doing good. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's also a huge gamble for them. So like
Yeah.
they don't waste a cast. They don't waste a minute. Like,
Yeah.
like for someone like Tommy, like everything's on the line. That's why he's going so hard, going so fast. He came like the clock was already at 2:30 at check-in and he came in with maybe 8 seconds to go. Like,
Holy crap.
When your whole life's on the line, really, you don't
Yeah.
take anything for granted, any minute, any cast. So I think that adds to it too. But yeah, pretty
Yeah.
freaking nuts.
Yeah, man, that is nuts. That is nuts.
Oh man. Well, we don't want to hold you up forever. I know you're a guy. I heard you on BTL the other day.
Yeah.
Always a good listen. And I know you mentioned you did some guiding, so plug away, man. If you
Yeah.
want to fill the
So
schedule, or if you're just going to big wheel it into the EQs.
no, listen, I don't, like I told my wife, like I'm not, even though we've got some extra cheddar now, finally, I mean, it's, I still love guiding. I still love going fishing. I mean, really, my favorite thing to do is to guide like, younger kids that are just getting into it, dude. Cause I mean, it's just so cool to, like you say, the old saying, take a kid fishing. Like that really is the coolest thing to me. Cause you get out there and, we all experience it all the times. We got boats. We're blessed enough to go fishing all the time. And that's why I guide. Cause I mean, a lot of guys do it for a living and everything like that. I guide because I like to see people get out there that don't get to go quite as often and just wear them out, because that's a memory. Like, we talk about, oh, I caught 40 fish today, man. It was incredible. Majority of people that don't have a bass boat and get to go all the time are never going to catch 40 fish in a day and be like just telling a fun story and then move on from it. Like they're going to remember that for the rest of their life, especially a kid.
Especially
So like,
a frog bite.
oh, dude, especially a frog bite, man. I'm telling you, dude. Yeah, so I've got all my stuff is super easy. I'm a redneck, so I made it all really simple. You find me on any platform, Laker Howell Fishing. You just put my name and then fishing afterwards. It's real easy to find. So I got my website. You can book there, but I mean, if you go to Instagram, there's the little pop-up thing on the far side. It's like a little arrow on the right-hand side. You hit that and it drops down. My phone number's right there. My email's right there. Just give me a call. I mean, like seriously, I'm right there. It's real easy to get in touch with me. My emails, I'm a fisherman. I don't know how many people are very good at emails, but I'm not. So if I happen to miss your email, just call me. Because seriously, I'll pick the phone up. I see it ringing, I get excited. I'm like, oh, I got a phone call. Who's this? So me and telemarketers have a conversation all the time. But so yeah, give me a call. We'll go have a good time fishing. Especially now, with the EQs and stuff. Even y'all too. I mean, all of us are under the Elite Series rules and stuff. So living on Gunnersville, I can't fish with my buddies. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So I can't talk to nobody, can't fish with nobody, but I can guide. So please come give me something to do with my life. I'm bored over here fun fishing by myself.
Can you not go on Gunner? Are you guys allowed to lock in the Wheeler tournament?
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't
he's
think
talking
so.
about next year. The elites are going to Gunnersville.
Right.
Yeah, the
Right.
Elites are going to Gunnersville.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I thought you were
I
thinking
can't.
in the plot for Wheeler.
Yeah, no,
Like, oh man, are they locking there?
no. If they would allow it, I probably would.
Oh yeah, well you had that huge run on Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky. Yeah, that one, dude, I'll be honest, that was a one and done thing. That was miserable running up there and back. It was miserable. 2.5 hours there, 2.5 back, dude. My dang, I was swapping legs. I was hanging one out the side of the boat, and then I got to see the entirety of the state. It felt like, it was pretty cool, but yeah.
Burn some gas.
Yeah, you're telling me at the end of it, after that gas, dude, the on the water gas that time of the year, I guess they don't get much business or whatever in the wintertime or whatever, but that on the water gas was $6.50 a gallon. It was so bad.
That's Canada.
I'd roll in there, I'd fill my tank up, because the next leg to the dam was still like it was half a tank to the dam from that point and half a tank back. So I was on fumes when I got back to the pump. And that dude would be sitting there. He was so cool at that marina. He had me a thick cut bologna sandwich with cheese made, ready to go. And I'd sit there and fill the thing up, and then get back in and run. But I ended up like with a gas bill of, in 3 days, I spent $1,500 in fuel. It was so expensive.
Guys, he should have had it like a filet sandwich for you, like a big steak. How much money you're spending there? Not bologna. God.
I know, dude. He was so fired up about that bologna too. As soon as he sent it, like the first morning, he's like, "Hey, do you like bologna? You like bologna?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He said, "Dude, best bologna you ever had. I got the whole log of it upstairs. I'll cut you a thick bologna sandwich this afternoon." I'm like, "All right, cool." I didn't think he was serious. Homeboy was sitting there waiting with it when I got there in the afternoon.
And that's some risky business, eating a homemade bologna sandwich during a tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had another dang hour and a half run back with that sandwich. So yeah, it was definitely risky business. But yeah, anybody wants to go fish with me, I guide all across the state of Alabama. I don't care where we go. You just let me know. We'll go. I mean, it just anywhere you want to go. But Guntersville is my specialty. And if y'all want to go throw a frog, the fall is here and the mats are up. So let's go. But
there you go. You heard it. Go follow them. If you want to go frogging on Gville, give them a honk. And man, going to be watching you boys in the EQs. Pumped for you. Congrats again on the win. Hopefully the old man pulls her off and makes her to the Classic this weekend. Hey,
if I catch a flight up there to that one on the final day, if he's in there, you're going to know it's something crazy's going on. So
yes, sir. All right, boys. We'll have a good night. Congrats again, man. Thanks for jumping on. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Laker.
Thank y'all for having me. We'll see you.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.